I will not be euthanizing my dog to move to Costa Rica. I can promise you that. Welcome to my new office. This is my new filming studio. I have been looking for one on and off for a long time because my husband works remotely and we have been climbing on top of one another, which isn't even the biggest problem. The biggest problem has been having a 4-year-old and having to clean up all of her stuff every time I want to film. So I'm very excited to be here. This is great. So I figured I'll start with a Q&A. I put together 10 big questions, like by far the questions I get asked most frequently. I also don't have a microphone for that. So if you can hear people honking out there, I am not wearing a watch. Almost rush hour. Ice is ready. I'm gonna make an iced coffee for this. This is very exciting because I brought up my, it's gonna be very echoey in here. Brought up my coffee glass because I would really like an iced coffee for this. I thought there probably won't be any ice. One more cube. Oh, this is, all right, no more cubes. We'll wait then. Ow, oh, my funny bone. Then I'll answer a couple questions and then I will have ice. This is fantastic. Okay, I have no idea where I was. This is the new office. Let's start with an easy one. What is your birth order and sign? I get this one a lot. Birth order, I'm actually the middle child. I have an older sister and a younger brother. I am very much middle child syndrome. Like it all checks out. Oh, and sign, I'm an Aquarius, January 31st. Number 2, are you married? How many kids? How old are you? Yes, I am married. My husband does not like to be on social media. He doesn't even use social media, so I don't show his face, but he is a hottie. How many kids? We just have 1. We're pretty settled on 1 and done. Yeah, we're pretty happy where we're at. I sometimes have baby fever when my friends have little babies and they're so cute, but then I think of how hard postpartum was for me and I have just no interest. How old are you? 35, I already said, 1991. Where are you from? You don't seem very Minnesotan. Fair, very fair. I get this all the time. I live in Minneapolis right now. I have been in Minneapolis since I graduated from college. Before that, I was in Rochester, Minnesota, if you're familiar with the Mayo Clinic. Most people are. Where am I from though? I'm originally from Washington State. I was born in Tacoma, moved to Rochester, Minnesota very briefly, moved to Connecticut, and those were very formative years. So when people say you don't seem Minnesotan, I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's because I spent some formative time on the East Coast. So I have that very like direct, don't fuck with me personality. And in fairness, I think that Minnesotans do get a bad rap. I think there are, is it rap or rep? Bad rap or bad rep? Bad rap. It refers to undeservedly negative reputation, criticism, or false accusation originating from 18th century slang for rap sheet or criminal charge. All right. Well, Minnesotans get a bad rap, and some of it is very deserved. I do know people who very much fit the Minnesota like passive-aggressive mold. Did I answer that? Yes. Tell us about Phyllis and the Phyllis plan. Phyllis is my dog. She is not allowed in this new office space because she is terrible. There would be drool all over this place. There would be hair. It's not going to happen. But Phyllis is my Saint Bernard. She's adorable. Especially here she is as a puppy. I know the pet owners who can relate to this and the ones who can't. And the ones who can't, I'm like, you shouldn't even follow me. You're in the wrong place. If you have never threatened your dog, come on. I have told her I'm going to make her into a bear rug many, many times. So the Phyllis plan is an inside joke with all of my followers. This was a couple months ago. I will talk about Costa Rica in a second, but I was talking about Costa Rica with people and I mentioned that we are planning to move there for some amount of time and we're on the Phyllis plan. And the vast majority of people took that to correctly mean that we're waiting for Phyllis to meet her demise of natural causes. Phyllis is a Saint Bernard. She's meant for like the Swiss Alps. She's not meant for tropical beach as much as she would love it. Part of me has changed my tune on that a little bit because I've seen more cold weather dogs when I've been down to Costa Rica. Anyway, a very minor population took that to mean that we will be euthanizing Phyllis so that we can move to Costa Rica. And I got some hilarious messages from people saying some crazy shit. I will not be euthanizing my dog to move to Costa Rica. I can promise you that. She just turned 6 years old. Her birthday is December 13th, if you want to put that in your calendar. Here we go. Should have done this one first. Why do you spend so much time in Costa Rica? Are you from there? Any plans to move there? I spend so much time in Costa Rica because my whole family lives down there. My parents moved down there. My sister and my nephew live down there, and my brother. From there? Nope, I am not. Plans, as I mentioned, we do have plans to eventually move down there for a time. I'm boring myself with this question. Does that answer it? Where did you go to school? What was your major? What's your McGill connection? Great questions. I went to school in Bemidji, Minnesota. Bemidji. I got a Bachelor of Science in Mass Communications. I started as a nursing major, then had a bit of a mental breakdown, which I've talked about a little bit. Yes, I learned film, I learned radio, I learned writing, I learned, critical thinking. That was a big one. As for the McGill question, I get a lot of questions from people because I wear my McGill sweatshirt, and all of the Canadians get so excited. I did not go to McGill, obviously, but my husband did. So that's my connection. We have tons of friends who, we're still very close with, who he went to McGill with. I get to rub it in his face because there is a professor from McGill, or at McGill, who follows me, who messaged me and said anytime I want to come and speak to her class, she would be delighted. I get to say, well, I got invited to speak at your school. So, did you? He didn't. That answers that one. Oh, this is an easy one. Have you always been liberal? Do you know MAGA people? I never give away the identities of my muses. I just call them my muses, but yep, they're in my life, and they are great for business, is what I say. I have always been liberal. I already showed you this. I don't know why I'm holding it up again, but I have always been liberal. I came from a progressive family. My parents are from Washington State. It's not like they really, were gonna be hardcore Republicans. When, why, how did you start on social media? This is a big one that people ask me. 1 year ago, I'm posting this on April 2026. I started posting on Instagram in April of 2025. I started posting on TikTok a little bit earlier than that, but not much. It was like March. I never saw this growth coming. I obviously had ambitions, and when I started doing this and started seeing how many people were resonating with the content, or the content was resonating with them, I'm not sure which order that goes in. My brain's not working. Where is my iced coffee? Anyway, why? I was unemployed at the time, so I was laid off from my corporate job in December of 2023. Yes. I need coffee. My brain is not working. Are you? So I had about a 3-month lead up knowing that I was going to be part of this layoff, which was a huge privilege. So I was able to kind of put things in place and decide what I was going to do. Decided to do property management because we own a couple rental properties. My parents do as well. Hated it. I hated it so much. I went on a girls trip in January 2025. This is way more information than you guys probably needed. Went on a girls trip with my friend Diane. This isn't her. This is a stock image, but we love Diane. While we were on that trip, it was just her and I, and she was like, Anna, you need to start posting on social media. You can thank Diane if you like me. If you don't like me, you can blame Diane. I'll put her number in the description. How did you start on social media? I started on TikTok. TikTok is like the easiest place to start because it feels less intimidating. That answers that. Last one, ADHD and PMDD. Diagnosis and tips. I have talked about both of these, probably ADHD a bit more. I was diagnosed with ADHD and PMDD. I had an incredibly hard time postpartum. That is when PMDD really fucked me up. And again, I'm answering this last because I know there are people who are like, I don't have a vagina, so this doesn't matter to me. So like this is PMS and this is PMDD. And it gets way worse a lot of times for women after they have had a child. 15, 16 days of every month that I was feeling truly terrible, like, suicidal thoughts, all of this. And finally I went into my doctor. My marriage was crumbling. We were working with a therapist and we were just not figuring stuff out. And I went and talked to my doctor and I mentioned to her 2 things that I think triggered the diagnosis. One, I said, whatever I had during pregnancy, bottle that up and give it to me because I have never felt better mentally. I had a really hard pregnancy physically, but mentally I was like, this is amazing. is this how people feel all the time? This is great. I don't want to murder anybody. That was one. And then the other was the light switch. A lot of women mention this exact same thing. I told her it's like a light switch goes off. I absolutely hate everything about my life. I hate my husband. I just want to run away. And then I get my period and it's like somebody just turned the light switch back on. And I'm like, oh, that was weird. Now I'm great. So that was the diagnosis. And then from there, I just still wasn't feeling great and was kind of on this path of like, I'm going to figure out everything that's wrong with me. And I started reading more about the correlation between PMDD and ADHD for women. Talked to a psychiatrist, and yeah, I think it took her, one conversation and she was like, oh yeah, you definitely have ADHD. So I never got my iced coffee.